evening and welcome to the Super License F1 podcast. My name's Rodney.
And my name is Zach.
Mate, it's bloody good to be talking to you after a little bit of a wee break that we had there. We're back.
Mid-season. The little mid-season break. I'm not going to call it the summer break because you're in the lower hemisphere. Not that there's like a list and an order to the hemispheres, but you're in the bottom one, I suppose is what they call it. The bottom hemisphere. So if anybody was wondering, yes, you're the bottom. So yeah, it's a winter, summer. It's just a break. And God, we needed it, Rod. After all of those races and podcasts, we just really needed a break. How did you spend your F1 break?
I just rewatched all the races from the first half of the year.
Good. I knew you were such a fucking F1 nerd.
What a nerd.
One nerd
No,
and one cool guy on this show, and you're the nerd.
No, it took me 3 weeks to not think about F1 at all. And then next thing I knew, Spa was coming back around. So didn't feel like a break, but we did have a little bit of a break. And then we wanted to wait until there was some settlement in the driver news and more than one race to talk about. That's fun. But before we get into all of that action, Zach, how was your, let's call it, the break?
The break was pretty good, I would say. It's been, you know what? It's the coolest summer of the rest of my lifetime, according to climate scientists. And it's a warm one. It's still warm, even though it's raining endlessly in London. It's still fucking hot. So, a lovely summer. And now we were just talking pre-show that I'm on the right at the top of the hill of summer now. These are the dog days, and it's just the cold, hard look down into the caverns of winter. That's all that's left. All that I've got left is this podcast and F1 solace for the rest of the year until I come see you at Christmas. So it's just the main reason I'm going.
What? So all you're telling me, all there is that you're just going to talk to me, and then you're going to literally come and talk.
And then come talk to you. Yeah,
talk to my face.
The two things left in my life: talk to you, and then talk to you in real time, in real person.
Well, look, some would pay a fortune for that. Well, we're back to talking about F1 races because there's been some, there's stories aplenty, but we're going to get into it with a few little quick stories. Then we're going to get into some of the bigger, juicier ones, the bigger, chunky stories, and then I've got a little super quiz for you later. What do you reckon?
I think that sounds really good. I have just a quick thing that's just happened to me right now. I was just loading up the Formula One website, and you're on Formula1.com, and you get a banner ad, right? What banner ads are you getting on Formula1.com right now?
Do you want me to try it?
You just go to F1.com and you tell me.
Trying to understand the game.
No, there's no game.
Okay.
I just want to know whether you're getting the same targeting as me. So it's Formula1.com.
Yeah,
if you go to standings, you might get a banner ad.
Standings.
Any banner ad?
Really?
Anything?
Oh, you know what I've gone and done though, which is silly. I've got an ad blocker on my computer.
you got the pie hole, don't you? I get it.
Thanks, pie hole.
I'm getting a brilliant big ad for F1 fragrances now available at Amazon. We've talked about the F1 fragrances before.
Have we?
I don't know if we have, but should we? Is the question.
We definitely should. There's nothing better to talk about.
I'm going to give you. They've all got just the worst names. Oh my god, there's so many. There's 5 names, and then there's these special bottle editions. But I'm going to give you 2 guesses at names, and we'll see if
this
they're
is
all
feeling
just 2
like
words.
a super quiz that we have already done. But anyway, I'm game.
No, but just hit me with 2 names. Just try. Let's see if you can get any of them right. There's 5 bottles here. Just try anything.
Is it Eau de Lonzo?
No, but I mean that's already better. That's already pretty good. No, think more like how perfume brands are always like live free, that kind of thing. It's that kind of stuff, but like car and Formula One related.
Surely it's not just like speed or something like that.
Oh God, you're pretty good. Like it's pretty close.
So close. Accelerate.
No.
Full beans.
All right. Full beans.
Just a spritz of full beans behind my ears, please.
Just give me a little full bean spritz. Yeah, actually half beans are the full beans, really. So we have one called Turn 1.
Turn 1.
We have another called Overtake 320. I don't know why it's 320.
Both
Is that
horrible.
Because that's like how fast you go? Like, I don't understand the 320 element of that.
I guess it's got to be a top speed thing.
REIGN, like Reign
no.
Champion.
I was going to say that's not too bad, but Reign is terrible.
Oh, Precious Metal, METTLE, like as in you've got.
I'm out.
He's got a yeah.
Blocking Formula1.com, never visiting that site again.
And then another one called Neon White, but I can't work out. Is that? Oh, my eyes are going funny. Is that 3 E's? Is it meant to be Neon? Do you reckon that's actually what it is?
Yeah, it is. This is it. This is it. I think we have done this as a quiz, and you said it's called Neon.
No.
You did.
Oh, my fucking hell it is.
Trying to find I think I tweeted
if that quiz exists.
Fernando, where is it? I want to know the exact thing. No, not that. Tweet from Fernando Alonso. Here's a tweet today from Fernando Alonso. You can still get a very special offer on Bang & Olufsen's Beerlit 20 until tomorrow. Use Alonso 20 at checkout. Like, what? What the fuck? It's not even a Fernando Alonso sponsored product. It's literally just use my code. It's like a Twitch streamer.
Well, I mean, we've got George Russell turning up to thingy this weekend in Daniel Ricciardo's gear. So, these Formula 1 drivers will shill fucking anything, it turns out.
It's, I don't know. Don't get into this, but I mean, he does that, and then there's like the exclusive story behind that, and then that gets all the clicks, and then they sell all the T-shirts. I don't even know. It really smells a little bit like something that was put on.
Physically as well. You feel like you're getting cynical in your old age? Do you think that Formula 1 is maybe a money-making venture built on brands and individual personality? I don't know.
We have to get into all of that next time we do a Dare to Swear episode about Daniel Ricciardo and what he's up to. But anyway, last thing I was going to point out, since we're not... Since we've steered so far away from the notes, the last thing I wanted to bring up is that I was watching YouTube last night, and for some weird random reason, our own super licensed videos are recommended back to me, and one came up of Formula One news from 8 years ago, where we just took the news segment and I just put topical photos over the top of it, and it was so funny because it was like, oh boy, our big news story for this week is Daniel Ricciardo. People just seem to really like him, and I hope he takes Mark Webber's seat. And it's like, fucking hell.
I mean, that's it. That's how we feel about Oscar, I suppose, as well. We just hope people like him and that he'll take a good seat. Anyway.
We'll get into all of that. A couple of dumb, quick stories just to get us, just to shake the sillies out as if that's going to work. Number one, who's afraid of vomiting wolf? Mercedes. Dado Toto Wolf says F1 teams need to accept that they are just sometimes vomit bags for annoyed drivers when things don't go their way. This was just one of those weird things. I've been calling out lately F1 stories that are just jokes, where people have just taken the joke and reported it as news, because that drives me nuts. But this one was just not even a joke. It's just
It's just nothing.
Toto just using the word vomit bags, and that went straight into the heading, and then therefore I clicked. I don't know. What do you think of that? That just drivers, when they get angry, they're just going to yell at the teams, and the teams just have to sit there and take it. Sometimes you need a little bit of a punching bag, and the thing is, the drivers only have one output, really, that is allowed. They could, if you're Sebastian Vettel, you go and bang wheels with another driver because you're angry, just to feel something. Just to feel alive.
They only have a radio button. It's not like they can be like, I want to talk to this person. I want to talk to, my personal trainer in the team, actually. Put them on the radio.
Right.
They just have radio button. So it's radio on. Why the fuck did we do this? This is really dumb. I hate this. Why have you fucked me like this?
So when you're at work and your boss takes your marketing strategy and rips it up in front of you and says we're doing something different, you just yell straight at them. Why the fuck are you do this? This is dumb. You're dumb. Or
if I just had a button on my keyboard that whilst I was at work, it was just called talk.
Channel straight to me, Rod.
Yeah,
you won't fucking believe what just happened.
Yeah,
I know, he's looking right at me right now. Unbelievable.
But that's what I mean. They only have one output, so they get angry and annoyed, and it must be very odd to be both the person who's driving the thing and have all the power, but also be at the total behest of a group of people, back in the garage. I'm sure it's a very odd sensation.
I suppose. Well, we can wrap this one up. I have one very simple question for you, Zach. Out of all of the Formula One team principals, if you were a pissed off F1 driver, who would you want to hold your hair back while you blew chunks?
Oh, Gunther Steiner, of course. I know we bring him up all the time. I think he'd get it.
Legit, hand on heart, it's the exact same answer. And do you want to know why?
Yeah. Why?
Because in my imagination, I'm vomiting and he's laughing, and then I'm laughing. Well, I'm just like scrommeting my guts out.
You know, he'd also be like, "This is tactical. Don't worry about it. We can get another drink in after this. You know, just I'll get the sparkling water, give yourself a rinse, and get back out there."
Ready for
can
next
you hit
story?
me with this next one? Yeah, please.
Colton Herderham.
Fuck off.
AlphaTauri are trying to parachute Colton Herder into their team for next year, with Pierre Gasly expected to make the move to Alpine. Only one problem, Zach. Colton Herder doesn't actually qualify for a super license. So, as the keepers of the super licenses, should we both turn our keys at the same time and grant him access, or tell him to go pound the sand?
I think he's got to go pound the sand. Like, if you haven't done the time, you can't do the drive.
Excellent. I'm submitting this clip to the podcast awards.
Great. Really, really, really good.
It's not, I mean, the thing is, it's not his fault. It's Red Bull's fault. And they're saying, we want Colton Herder. And everyone's pointing at it and going, but he doesn't qualify. And they're like, well, we still want him. Like,
I mean, if I was a hospital and I said, I want George Clooney to be the doctor here, and they're like, look, we loved him in ER, but it doesn't make him a surgeon.
That's right.
He hasn't done the time. Can't do the chopping.
Just woefully unqualified.
I saw a quote today that Colton was like, I was a little bit surprised actually that what are they fucking called? AlphaTauri came and knocked on my door and were like, we'd like you to drive. Caught me by surprise. It's like, oh, so you had no fucking clue. Like, has the Red Bull driver program literally gone through every single driver? Are there none left?
They've surprised a lot of people.
Yeah. I don't know anything about this
ask
guy.
for 3
And
cars.
I've actually also been pointedly ignoring learning about him, because if he's not going to be in Formula One, that would just be wasted effort on my part to go and learn about a guy who will never be in Formula One. So,
well, yeah. I mean, this is why we don't usually report on rumors. But I mean, this is also just, I think, just like it's not even a story about Colton Herder. It's a story about Red Bull and their Red Bulliness. They're Red Bullies, really.
They want to just do whatever they want. They just, you know. It is interesting though that like Toto Wolff. It was like, oh, well, you know, we have these, like, reasons where you can, like, there are these formula that you can get points in these races and all this kind of stuff. And if you want to change those rules moving forward to give super license points for this stuff, great. Like, let's do that. But that's not up to us. That's up to the FIA. So, you know, I don't know why they bother with this shit, though. Why does the Formula One just break away from the FIA? Just give out super license to whoever they want. Like, you don't even need that. Just be like, put whoever you want in the car. It doesn't matter. Like, if you think they'll be good, great. It's not like we haven't. I mean, they'll probably make it happen. Formula One does this all the time, right? Like, Liberty Media would be desperate for this guy to get into a Formula One car. They'll, you know, the FIA is just a group of guys sitting around making up rules. They'll just do it if they want to.
I guess you're right. We shall see. I think this is a TBC, but I also, it'll be a TBS, meaning it's to be shit. Who's
going to get dropped? Because Gasly will go off to Alpine, right? Is that the thing?
That's what's expected. And then, I mean, like, Mick Schumacher will be probably free, but that said, I don't know. They're saying
even if he's got like Sebastian Vettel in his corner being like, you should hire this guy, and people are still like, I don't know, actually.
You know, seems pretty sus. Schumacher, you say? Never heard of him. Should we get into these meaty stories?
Yeah.
We'll talk in a minute about races, I promise you. But first, obviously the big news. Oscar Piastri finally confirmed at McLaren. First thing that happened was Ricciardo announced he was leaving McLaren, which pretty much like cleared the way for somebody else. And then there was the whole contractual thing that went through, which Alpine and McLaren both said, no, we've got Oscar Piastri signed. He'll be driving for us. Thank you very much. But McLaren, like, pretty much hands down won that one, as everyone expected. So then very, very quickly after, McLaren announced, very pleased to announce Oscar Piastri is driving for us next year. Ricciardo got here in the notes, so it must be true. Caught in 4K talking to Chico Perez about taking a year off and then coming back. Mm-hmm. That makes me wonder if he has signed a contract with someone already, but they just can't get him in for next year. If so, where? That's a spicy meatball, but you could pick up any of those threads and do whatever you do with a spicy meatball. Yeah, you can chew on them.
I feel like we should go backwards through these. So let's start with the spicy meatball. I think it would be far out for a Formula One team to give him a contract. I think there might be a handshake. There might be a little like, hey, so we are warehouse or something, and we think it might be good in the future to have you as an experienced driver. I think this might be slightly connected. Also, we'll talk about Audi and Porsche and all that kind of stuff maybe at some point today. But I could definitely see Daniel kind of slotting into that, like, well, you're the experienced guy. Like, he'll be the new Vettel, even though probably not as good. Like, you can be the guy that will be bankable and everyone knows and it's a good brand and you might bring some sponsors. And this is all looks good. And that could happen at Haas. That could happen at Alfa Romeo. That could happen, maybe even at Aston Martin moving forward, that kind of thing. But I think I don't think he's going to like take a year off and then come back into Mercedes and be the guy. I just don't see that happening. Or Ferrari or Red Bull or literally anyone that's got a shot at winning a title. So, yeah. Do you think, like, you mentioned, he might have something possibly lurking in a 2020... What year would that be? 2024. Do you think he'll go race in 23? Do you think he'll like McLaren have ties to IndyCar and stuff? Just put him in one of those.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I think that they were looking maybe at an option for that, but I mean, he said, "I don't want to do that." That said, now that it's a reality and you won't be in F1, well, I mean, it's not confirmed yet that he won't be in F1 next year, but it's sure looking like it. What's he going to spend the year doing? Especially if he thinks he's going to come back the year after. Supercars, yeah.
God, that would be so lame. Formula E, maybe? What do people do?
I mean, you could have a Burl. Why not give it a go? That's the thing is, he's such a loose unit, he probably would give it a go.
What about like a little Netflix documentary where him and his best mate fitness coach guy like sail around the world or something? I feel like that would be...
We have to save that until the next time we talk about Netflix, because I've got a lot of things in the pipe for that one. I don't know. Look, Ricardo, I mean, your bet was always Ricardo won't be around next year. I just think it's an interesting signal that he thinks, just take 1 year off and then I'm back. It's like, well, what makes you think that? That's what makes me wonder whether he's got something lined up. But he may not. Other than that, though,
maybe Alonso will be gone by then. Like Alonso, Hamilton.
Maybe
he thinks the other old guys will go
back up in case Alonso leaves. But what if Alonso doesn't leave? Can you imagine?
He's never going to leave.
The scene.
Alonso's going to be team principal and driver at the same time.
Yeah, he's going to be designing the car and he'll win the championship. The first guy to do it since Jack Brabham.
Who would be the best guy to do that right now in Formula One? If you had to pick someone who could be team principal, like, player coach, player manager, like that kind of guy, who would you want? And you know what? It's not restricted just to the drivers. You can choose an existing team principal to also be the driver.
So what you're saying is the pool of people for me to choose from are all the drivers and all the team principals.
Exactly.
But we have to pick who is most likely to
do well.
End up doing both? Is that what you're talking about? Or
not end up. No, if you had to pick one right now, if you're like, all right, the only person who I think could actually have a chance at pulling that off would be X person.
Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, he'd be pretty good. That's not bad.
Well, I think we need one of each. We need one driver who could do both, but we also need one, like, who's the most likely of the principals to do it. Probably Horner.
Yeah, because he's got a bit of racing experience.
Yeah, and he's not too tall.
If I could get Zach Brown into like
half the grid.
Fight and shape, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, if Claire Williams was still around, she could slink into a car, no problems. But like Zach Brown, are you kidding? No.
Oh, you know who's the best at this? Susie Wolf. She'd be fucking amazing. Team principal and driver.
Not a current principal or driver.
No,
so
I know.
Just missed out by that much.
And all his adopted children.
Yes. She's in the Wolf pack.
Okay.
So McLaren next year, the papaya is going to be Lando and Oscar. What do you make of that pairing?
The too young to be professional sports people pairing. Like, when I look at them, I just get reminded of my own age. And they just look like a couple of kids, like a couple of like troublemakers down at the park, smoking durries in their hoodies. Like, I can't
You
look
don't think like Zach Brown, it's the most exciting driver lineup on the grid?
I guess so. I mean, Lando's getting less and less exciting for me and more just like...
Oh, really?
I will be a grown-up Formula One driver and fuck you all. He's getting harder as opposed to softer. Maybe he thinks like he needs to be that.
Yeah.
My graph of likability is slowly, like, at some point, George Russell and Lando Norris are going to cross over, and it's approaching that moment, which is, I never thought I'd say that. So
I don't think that Lando is any longer the youngest driver on the grid, but if you're the rookie guy, you usually always want someone more experienced to learn from, but he's not really.
Is Lando that
going to get that?
I don't think Lando's done any mentorship. If anything, all of his comments, the ones that have been on the edge, like, oh, that seems like a slightly mean thing to say about your teammate, point to me that he could not give a shit about who, his co-driver is, and just has to be like, no, it's up to you to be successful. That's what I did. It's like, yeah, you never had any mentorship or anything. So
he's not like I don't wish him ill, but like whenever Daniel doesn't do well, and they're like, do you feel sorry for Daniel? He's like, it's not my job to feel sorry for him. Yeah, Daniel who?
Very good. Yeah, I think Oscar's gonna come in and really annoy Lando because he might do pretty well. Like, he's the F2 champion, he's pretty good. Lando's pretty good too, but it's also down to a little bit of luck. And I don't think it'll be too long before Lando and Oscar are like at each other's throats, but behind the scenes. And poor Daddy Zach Brown is going to have trouble managing those two boys. I think it's not all going to be not all just going to be great. You need some maturity in there. And maybe, just maybe, Oscar Piastri might be the more mature of the two. We shall see. Do you know literally anything about him?
I get the vibe that he's a very serious cat. Like, I remember when he started winning in Formula 3 and maybe even Formula 2, his management were like sending emails and tweeting to people how angry they were that the newspapers weren't writing about what a great thing he was and all the rest of it. And then obviously the Alpine thing where they were like, Oscar will be driving for us. And he was like, I understand. I'm informed, reliably informed that an announcement has been made without my consent. It's like, oh, fucking hell, man. I just don't think he's like a party guy. So we'll see. I could be wrong. But I just get the feeling that he's way serious.
Yeah, I think he's way serious too. So who do we look for on the grid now for the fun? Who's providing the fun? Are they all too serious now?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good point because it used to be Lando and Ricardo. Ricardo's gone. Lando's turned into an emo guy. So I don't know.
An emo guy.
And even Tsunoda is like. Remember, Tsunoda was more like a cartoon character than a person, and now he's like. I don't know. You don't even hear from him anymore. No,
yeah, you have to be. I think maybe the teams are like. It's really actually quite tight here at the top.
Yeah.
Like we need to get every point, and the money's tight, and the sponsors demand a lot.
It's true.
Maybe it's because there's all this it's so big now and so famous that you kind of have to be very serious all the time, which is not a bad thing. I mean, it's a serious sport, so
could be. Maybe we just have to be the characters. Our heroes are dead. We're the heroes now, Zach.
Okay.
Should we talk some races?
Yeah. All right.
Tell ya, old man Max Verstappen has been doing pretty well. 2 wins, the last 2 wins since the break on the trot. Spa, he won easily. Kind of have to say, too, the Dutch Grand Prix that he kind of won easily, too, despite starting from 15th or whatever. No, wait, which one did he win? No, it was Spa that he started 15th. It's all just becoming a blur. And it's only 2 races in. One Spa easily. One, what was this? The Dutch Grand Prix. Do you call it a nail biter, or was it all just fake hype? I don't know, but I mean, it was good that Hamilton was up there. Everyone's phrasing it as like Hamilton was in the hunt. I'm like, yeah, he was, but that also there was a lot of hype about Hamilton had a win stolen from him with a safety car. It's like, I don't know about that. But anyway. Verstappen won. He's won 10 wins this year. There's 7 races left, and up for grabs is the possibility of taking the lead for wins in a season, which is held currently by Sebastian Vettel, Michael Schumacher, equal on 13 wins in a season. Do you reckon he'll do it?
Yeah, I don't think it looked like this kind of around...
Yeah, around 5 or 6, it was like, ooh.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, this all seems
and then he's won everything since then,
But now, even when I'm sitting there watching it, I'm like, well, they're so fast.
Who's going to beat him? That's the thing.
There's just no way. It's he's now the default guy.
Yeah.
And it was like this with Sebastian Vettel when he was winning all the time, that it was just like something has to go really wrong for this. Like, it's going to have to rain and then be blisteringly sunny in 12 seconds and then rain again, and there'll have to be a pigeon that will get caught in his duct, and all this stuff is going to happen to stop this guy from winning. And, if coming from last doesn't, like, if essentially starting at the back of the grid won't prevent you from winning, then, I mean, what hope does anybody else have? Which is kind of crazy because it's the first year of a new formula. Like, it shouldn't be this far up. They shouldn't be this different. And maybe it is just that Mercedes didn't get it quite right with their build, which they kind of knew from, like, race 1. And then Ferrari are just being Ferrari all the time, which I don't want to, like, flog that dead horse anymore because that just continues to be the case, that they just can't really get their act together, even when they're in okay positions. So, no, I don't see anybody else beating him. And, again, I think this is not just down to how good Red Bull is. I think Max Verstappen is, like, just playing this perfectly. Like Vettel did, like, just absolutely elite. The car is perfect for him. He's got, like, Sergio Perez can't even get close. He's absolutely wiping the floor with him. And so, yeah, he's dialed in. And I don't think it would be crazy to be like, yeah, Max will win every race for the rest of the season. Like, why not? Right?
It's kind of crazy to me because, I mean, the way I see it is either on a given weekend, Ferrari will have the speed all weekend and they might win, but it'll be close. Or Red Bull look like they have the speed and they will win by a country mile. And Ferrari will be next in line, except they won't be able to challenge. Weirdly, the times when Mercedes have looked threatening have been the races where Ferrari have shot themselves in the foot and fallen out of the way. If they were still there to disrupt Mercedes, it would be super hard for Mercedes, I think. But that said, if Mercedes is a chance, it has to coincide with Ferrari kind of just wiping themselves out at the same time, so that they don't have to worry about them anymore. That seems to be the pattern for the races so far. But I don't know. I think Verstappen will win. He'll break this 13 wins in a season record. Yeah. He'll probably wrap it up very, very soon. It's becoming mathematical, very likely very soon. I think, interestingly, I saw a graphic today that was like the biggest lead after X number of races every season for the last 10 years or whatever. And 2 years ago, Hamilton had a bigger lead than Verstappen has now, which is pretty unbelievable. But, when you dominate, you dominate.
Yeah, these don't feel like lucky win. Only he's getting his fair share of luck, but I think anybody kind of is. And even when it goes against them, though, it's like, when you decide to turn the car up to max, like there is just no catching him. And they're just so fast on the straights, and they're not too slow through the corners that it doesn't really feel like. And all the tracks have so much DRS now, and there's so many new tracks where high speed is really important. I just don't see it. And because of the cost cap, no one's like bringing huge amounts of innovation either to be like, well, let's just recover from this and just completely rebuild the car from scratch, and we'll just try something completely new and we'll fix it. And all the teams like, I can't actually really do that either, though. So maybe we'll just put it aside and sort it out next year. There is, but when Hamilton and Verstappen were kind of duking it out, and Hamilton had that big lead, that did feel like there were just times when, and this is just my foggy memory looking back, that was like, one of them crashed, so no points. This doesn't feel like that. This just feels like everybody else can finish and race their best race, and Max is still 5 seconds in front of everybody.
Yes. So that said, I want to ask you one more question. Will Mercedes win a race this year? I've been saying no all year.
The only way it's going to happen is that they somehow qualify well. Like that has happened, and it's both of them. It has to be George and Lewis, and both have to have good races. That's how it will happen. And it could happen in Singapore. That would maybe be the place. But yeah, that's kind of where I see it happening.
I would also say this weekend coming is Temple of Speed at Monza. And I mean, we don't typically think of that as a wild card crazy run. It's usually Azerbaijan, Monaco, Singapore maybe. But last year Ricciardo won. The year before that, Pierre Gasly won. Lately it's been pretty cooked. So I don't know. I mean, maybe there'll be something in the air.
Yep. Yeah, that could be it. We'll see. I mean,
we shall see.
It's weird.
Would really make me feel good if Mercedes could win a race, and then maybe commentators will just that chip in their head that turns them into bumbling fucking idiots. That would just get that'd be great. Don't get me started on that. Anything else you want to talk about?
With the sound off a lot of the time this week. Actually,
I really, boy. I mean, I I was getting annoyed when I had to watch replays because I couldn't turn the commentary off. But I'm definitely going back now to just watching without commentary. I don't know about your viewing experience, but I've got experience where it's like you can either watch the world feed or watch that like split screen with 4 different screens, one showing the pit lane, one showing. Just going to go back to that because no commentary, just car sounds, and you can still follow what's going on.
Yeah, of course you can. You've been watching Formula One for a long time. You know what's happening.
True.
This is something that is coming up a little bit. I'm watching more races with friends at locations a few times, and that is one of the concerns, right? You know, will they play the sound? Like, can we hear the commentary? And I think that's a mixed bag, right? Because often it's so loud that you can't really like talk to each other that well. But at the same time, it can be hard in a live environment to like, you just do want those little bit of commentary recaps to be like, pay attention right this second because someone's doing this thing. Oh my God. Like if somehow the screen could flash red to be like important.
Look now. I was at the Australian Grand Prix this year. I found the trackside commentary was, as it usually is, like when the cars are going past, it's like, forget it. But then the rest of the time, when when no one happens to be driving past, which is most of the time, actually, that's all you need is just so-and-so's doing this, so-and-so's in the pits. I mean, you just need that little bit of context. Not even to be connected, but to feel like you're connected. And that for some...
Is there a gap there? Should we just provide this to people?
An in-race live commentary
that is just...
We've been threatening to do a commentary for a long time. Yeah.
So, but there's no pressure on us to talk a huge amount. It's a little bit more like golf commentary in that sense, right? You kind of just bumble along until really important things happen. And you're like,
I just remember sometimes when you watch the cricket and there's like a delivery and they go, oh, there you go. No, just let that one go through to the keeper. And then everybody just spaces and it's silence until the next delivery. It's like, guys, not that I want you to just talk shit all the time, but give me something. No, sometimes they'll even show the replay and there's just like nothing, just silence, crickets.
Yeah. Well, I think that actually Formula One's doing that. I do have to say, I did enjoy the new graphics this week. I liked the shot of
I should have put that in the notes. Let's talk about the graphics.
Yeah, the graphics are good. I think that, the new graphics cards I've got on my computer mean that I can really see it.
It's hard coded as distance to Verstappen ahead, something like that.
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was really cool.
I thought the distance was good. It was surprising. Were you surprised when they were like showing they're only 30 meters away? I was like, that's not much. I always assume it's like heaps away.
No.
You should just say heaps.
Far.
No, it's real close. No, it's heaps again.
No, heaps again. I'd like to see upgrades on that graphics because at each track, you're trying to get you learn as you watch a race unfold that you're like, oh, coming out of that into that last set of chicanes before the main straight. Like last time he was half a second behind and he couldn't make the overtake happen. But this time he's 3/10 behind. Maybe that will be enough.
Right.
It would be really cool to see that same graphic, but be like, or overtake on or overtake not on, like that kind of thing.
This would be so hard, but when there's a driver following another driver for a couple of laps, they could track the front driver and put a ghost of the following driver to see whether they're closer or further away than the previous lap. That would be fucking rad.
Oh, Rod, you got me going now. Finally. 10 years of podcasting. Here I am.
10 years and 34 minutes and 58 seconds. I've got you revved up finally.
Got me fully revved.
I did it.
I like it.
Well, there you go. There's that. We've got one last story in the notes. Is there anything else you want to do before you pop that little cherry?
Yeah, let's do the last story because there was hot off the presses news just today in relation to this story.
I feel like this is way more you, so bring us to it.
Yeah, because we said a while ago, this story leaked that Porsche had bought like 50% stake in Red Bull. And then Red Bull were like, that didn't fucking happen. And everyone in Formula One in all the paddock channels like, yeah, but it did though. You're just not telling anyone. And they were going to announce it at Austria. And then they didn't. And then it kind of continued on and on and on. This is the reporting today. And Red Bull just were a bit like, oh, Porsche want all this stuff. And like, it's getting complicated. And what do they actually bring? Nah, let's not do it. So that's off, apparently. No more Porsche Red Bull. And partly also because, Porsche and Audi are owned by Volkswagen Group. And Audi's like, hey, we're coming in 2026. We're going to be a new team. So that would be a lot of Volkswagen stuff in there. They had to go through like anti-competitive clauses and rules through multiple different things. So I think it was all just getting a bit complex for Red Bull. They like to run their own thing, shoot from the hip. I don't think that Porsche maybe were going to bring too much money. Also wrapped into this is that Porsche's rumored, or maybe it's official, they're actually going to offer up the first time ever you can, like, they're going to go public. So they're going to offer up 15% of Porsche and got to spin off some of it. So you can buy shares in Porsche.
Do you want to go halves with me on one share? Every podcast will have to declare our financial interests.
Yeah, our financial interest in Porsche. Yeah. And you know what? I'm sure they're probably...
We'll see how much they are. Maybe we buy one each.
Yeah.
We'll buy a Patreon. Chris Kringle's coming up. There you go.
Yeah. We could buy if they maybe we should buy one Tesla share and one Porsche share and then track them over time.
There you go. On superlicense.fm superlicense.fm, click the link for Patreon if you want to chip in $1 a month.
We'll give you shares of our share.
One Porsche share. We'll let you look at it anytime you want. But it's great news to hear about more teams joining the grid because, I mean, we haven't lost any for a while, but boy, it's got to be coming. And then I thought the interesting news, and it was funny that you just mentioned that anti-competitive stuff because I hadn't thought of that, but Audi and Porsche both being under the Volkswagen branding, you would sort of, umbrella, the parent company, whatever you call it, you would sort of think like, why not just share? Like you build one engine and you both use it. Like that would be such a good arrangement for all people involved. But apparently they're not going to. I think it would be
confusing branding. That could be tough because it's like they probably have positioning maps. If I was the marketing team there, I'd be like, no, Porsche's brand is this and Audi's brand is like car for the everyday and Porsche is sports car. You know, that's different. But then so they're probably in the sport for different reasons. Yeah, exactly. You know, Audi's for practice sessions and the Porsches for the race. You know, that's kind of... Maybe they could do that. That will work more nicely. So
I guess on the one hand, if they all had one engine and they had 4 cars all running the one power unit and they were like the last 4 cars on the grid, there's sort of nowhere to hide. At least if you both develop a power unit, you've got, some cover. At least we're not as bad as them, eh?
My TikTok For You page, I'm getting a lot of Formula One content recently. And there was somebody who was like a newish Formula One fan. They're like, but I didn't get it. Like, what are they testing? Like, what are they trying to prove? Like, if it's the driver, then everyone should have the same car. Like, who's the best driver? Or if it's the best car, then maybe they should just put the one driver in all the cars. But I'm like, what do you mean test? Like, we're not trying to find anything out. Like, it's just a sport. Like, I think the premise is wrong. Like, we're not, it's not, this isn't a scientific study of like, let's find out who the best driver in the world is. It's just all fun. It's sport. Like, it's not empirical. I just couldn't get it. I was like, I felt like my brain was broken for a second. I was like, I mean, that's all true, but I don't think the question's the right question.
Yeah. You're so close to something there, but also all around it.
Like no one's sitting around being you know what? Max Verstappen is the best driver in the world. It's like, no, he's the Formula One reigning world champion. That's what that means, not greatest driver.
So
that's
true.
All. So true.
So true. We didn't do so true this week. Oh, well, next time.
I did. So true. Else? That was mine.
God. There you go. Well, thank you for your contribution. We'll play the theme. So true. Ready for Super Quiz? Speaking of themes?
Yes.
The song will play now. So, my turn to do a quiz for you this week, Zach. What do you know about Twitter.com?
I know that it's just full of bots. Me and Elon, we've been chatting. It's all bots. All the way down. Always has been, always will be.
Oh, yeah. So you're on Twitter. Do you follow any F1 accounts?
I follow the Formula One account. Maybe a couple of the people are attached. I stopped following drivers because I couldn't deal with the...
Yeah, it's true.
I wanted just direct insight into their brains and souls. And now I feel like it's just their PR teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like, whenever I'm scrolling through, like the people the Super License account follows as like a source of news for us, it's always just like, I'm getting the better stuff from everyone except for the teams and the drivers. The stuff the teams and the drivers are posting, I could do without. But it's all the other good stuff. Anyway, I thought this week we'd have a bit of fun, and I'm going to give you 6 Twitter accounts, and I'm going to read you 6 tweets. These are the first tweet that this account posted. You're going to match them up and tell me which account posted which tweet. This is the first tweet they ever posted. Do you want your accounts first?
Yeah, give me the accounts.
Golden Boy Lando Norris, F1's darling Jenny Gao, WTF1,
okay,
Paddock Sage Joe Saywood 5000,
oh,
Bob Constanduris. Do you know Bob Constanduris?
I don't think so.
He's the guy that shouts champagne, or used to.
Oh, Okay.
That guy. And then, save the best to last, talk about a spicy meatball. F1 podcaster extraordinaire, Zachary Priest. They're your 6.
Fuck.
Your 6 accounts. I'm going to now read some tweets. You have to tell me which account is the first tweet for each of these accounts. Ready?
I feel personally attacked. This is not fair.
Yes. Okay. Here we go. First tweet for you. This is the tweet now. I'm reading. I'm going to stop talking for 1 second, and that'll be me reading the tweet. First tweet, 45 minutes to first session, 21 degrees ambient, track temp is 19, track is dry but umbrellas up in the grandstand, here we go.
Oh.
You got Lando Norris, Jenny Gow, WTF1, Joe Saywood 5000, you, or Bob Constanduris?
You. I think it's a Jenny Gow. Put me down for Jenny Gow.
Swing and a miss. That one's Bob Constanduris.
No, what? Wait, I thought I was going to match them.
Yeah.
And you could
do you want to do all of them? I can do the next 5. That can be the example.
No, that's tough. No, I think that'd be really hard. Okay, wrong. Don't tell me who it is, though, right away. Maybe we can go
you want
back.
me to tell you right or wrong? I just thought that you might want to do process of elimination. Whatever you want to do.
that is true. It's your quiz.
You tell me what you want.
I don't know. I don't like
Okay.
I thought I turned up to McDonald's and just picked from the menu.
Honestly, what I thought was...
It's a set menu.
I honestly thought this is going to be too much to keep in your head at once. That's why I thought
It is. I was concerned about that too, actually. I think
Sure.
it is. You're right. No, you just tell me if I'm right or wrong, and then I can see if I can get better by the end.
All right.
You tell me who it was as well. Okay, that was George What's-His-Face, Champagne Man.
That
was my other choice. That's where I would have gone.
We have to clarify what I'm doing now. I'm going to read the tweet, you're going to guess, and then I say right or wrong, and then do you want the name or not?
I want the name.
Okay, you got it. All right, next one. You ready?
Yep.
At work at Sky, waiting for the Man City match to begin and the golf to finish.
I mean, that's got to be Jenny Gow then.
Yeah, correct. That one was Jenny Gow.
Woo!
Okay. Let's try this one.
I mean, I wish
Can't
it was
wait to get can't wait to get back in the car at Wilton. Seems like it's been such a long time the last 3 days.
Get back in the car at Wilton. Lando?
Yeah, that one's Lando. Actually, his first couple of tweets are like replies to other people, but they don't make sense as first. They're not actually first tweets, if you know what I mean.
No, Mum. I said I wanted French fries for dinner.
God, I said I would do it good. Okay. Next one. You ready?
Yep.
Joe is on Twitter.
Fuck, it's Saywood. Of course it is.
It's had to be Joe Saywood 5000, of course.
Classic.
And of course, his first tweet is himself announcing, I'm now on Twitter.
Finally. I don't know why. It's been so long since I feel like we've talked about Joe Saywood. I can't even remember why we don't like him anymore. Like, it's been... I just know. There's like a little locked chest in my heart that's like, no, bad. Don't go near.
Looking up people's first tweets, so many people joined in 2011. I don't know what happened, but like almost everybody that I looked up joined in 2011. Must have just been the
Everyone
year.
had iPhones by then. I think that's it.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, so we've got a couple left. I think, what are we up to? It's either WTF1 or you. So let's try. Let's see. Who,
both prolific on Twitter.
Here we go. Here's your tweet. Life tip. Turn caramel slice upside down when eating it with cutlery. Also, don't accidentally delete your Twitter account.
Whoa, that feels like me. That feels like me. I think I can remember both of those things happening. Although I didn't follow that I don't think I followed that. I don't think I followed my own advice recently.
Didn't follow your own advice. So the two things here that intrigued me. Number one, you eat a caramel slice with cutlery.
No. Does that say eat?
Second of
or
all,
does it say cut?
It says turn caramel slice upside down when eating it with cutlery.
Yes. Well, if you're going to eat it with
you need
cutlery,
to explain yourself. Number one, why are you eating it with cutlery? Two, why is there a wrong way to eat it with cutlery?
So
what are you talking about?
So I've been on Twitter for 11 years now, something like that.
I guess
12
so.
years. I've been on Twitter for a long time. Probably thanks to you. The problem with so let me preface it with this, right? Some things come in a way where the top is harder than the bottom, and you're going to have to cut it with a knife, right? So this applies to bread as well. If you don't squish your bread when you're cutting it, like a sourdough, flip it over, and remember to use a sawing action with your bread knife, okay? And that way, when you get to the really hard part, you can push really hard and saw at the same time, and not squish the soft thing, the bread in this circumstance. Same for caramel slice. If you've tempered that chocolate beautifully on the top, it's going to be hard. And if you
You're
go
right.
to cut through it,
You're not
it'll
wrong.
break, it'll like split, and it'll fly off the plate. 2 halves, boom, gone. So
I feel like the
flip it
problem
over.
is you're pulling it out of the fridge and trying to eat it too quickly. You got to let that thing get up to room temperature. Then that knife will go through that chocolate.
I suppose so. Get sharper knives, I guess. And why are you eating it with a knife and fork? Because it's a sticky, melty mess. And maybe someone didn't cut it up into bite-sized pieces when they made it, which is what I do now.
Rookie error.
Made some caramel slice for a work event recently. Went down a treat. Big fan. For those who don't know what caramel slice is, it's kind of like millionaire shortbread, but
What?
desiccated
What's that? It's like
coconut.
some kind of caramel slice.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I didn't think you'd like desiccated coconut, but in that, it's great. Just adds a bit of something to it. And deleted my Twitter account. Yes, that happened to me.
So, I mean, this isn't your first tweet, but it's the first tweet from this account. So I always wondered
Yeah.
why you were the handle you are. Obviously, you had a different handle. Do you remember the first one?
Yeah, Zachary Priest. Now I'm
So
underscore.
then you accidentally deleted that, and instead of re-registering it, you decided to just pop in the underscore there. You couldn't do it.
Yeah, couldn't do it. Wonder if I can now. Is there anybody at Zachary Priest right now?
This is something for after we've finished recording, Zach. There's one left to go, but there's obviously only one option left, and you get it anyway. Top 10 motorsport epic fails. Many of you have already
Jenny
seen the
Gow.
ridiculous start to the... Of course, the WTF one, just proving that they were always WTF one to the core.
Yeah, they're so WTF.
Amazing results. You got all the ones that mattered, and the secret bonus question. So you blitzed it. Well done.
Apparently, twitter.com/Zachary Priest is down.
Down, huh? Wow,
Down.
eh?
I have no idea what this 404-page picture is. It's like a fried egg with hundreds and thousands on it. So weird. All right.
Are you telling me
this is not
Twitter.com
Zachary.
is weird?
Hey, look. No, here it is. Here's a guy. He joined in 2017, January 2017.
You were asleep at the wheel.
Yeah, he looks like he's just into NFTs. Yep. It's all
Every
NFT
time I used to
stuff.
Google Rodney Gordon, it always came up with like a boxer or something. But I mean, I don't go under the Rodney Gordon thing, but let's see what is twitter.com/Rodney Gordon. Let's find out. Got a bit about this guy. Ooh, it was Big Egg. Big Egg. No tweets, no follows, no profile picture. Gutted.
We
But
should
it is parked.
petition to get
Selfish.
that parked. Yeah, because they're waiting for the podcast to blow up, and then bam, asking for
There used to be these
cash.
services that were like, put in the Twitter handles that you want, and as soon as they're available, we will alert you, and you could just snatch them right up. And I had about 5 that I wanted, put them all in, and now 4 years later, none of them have been available, not even once. Garbage.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Because I'm trash.
We're nearly done, Zach.
well.
Speaking of trash, we've come up with a new segment to
Oh,
round up
yeah.
the show. You ready to,
Let's
you
do
ready to
it.
preview
I'm
this?
so ready for this. It was so fun last time that I
Rubbing
want
my
to do it
hands
again.
together.
Yeah, I thought
Crafty's
so.
Corner. We were going to
good name.
craft the world's most viral tweet. We're gonna workshop it. We're gonna craft it together, and post it out live on the internet.
What was the last one we did, and did it get any traction?
Let me, let me pull it up, and then I will read you exactly all of the stats for it. Because it's it makes me wonder why this became a segment.
Sometimes people say, you should just like do something creative just for you, and that's what
Yes, well,
that's what people
all
will
I
really
ever
jive
do.
with. That is what this show has turned into again. I think it wavered for a little while, and I feel like I just make it for me now.
No kidding. No, someone tweeted a little bit of micro chatter going on Twitter yesterday. I think it was someone going like, "What are the good F1 podcasts?" And someone was like, "Yeah, Super License is good. They're pretty good." And I had to respond and
okay.
say, "Excuse me. Saying that we are pretty good is overcooking it. We are good, or better than not listening to anything."
Yeah, if you have to do the dishes and you've run out of Formula One podcasts, put us on.
If there's literally no other option, then we're great.
If you've got a long car ride and if someone hands you the aux cable in the Uber, put us on. You never know.
So good. I'm scrolling furiously trying to find the tweet. I can almost remember it, but
It's Netflixy. I feel like it was about
Yeah,
Judge's
it was about
five-season-
spilling the contract tea on the next season. Something like that.
Oh yeah, we really worked.
remember?
We workshopped it. We almost we cut away too many things that it was almost too difficult to understand.
So anyway, the task to be done is we have to craft a new tweet. Any ideas? I've got one idea, but I don't know if we want to cook up something fresh or expand on this idea.
If you've got an idea, great. I mean, I don't have straight off
Okay.
the top of my dome. I think that we could do something Oscar Piastri related. Like,
Oh, okay, it's a good idea.
because he's the hit guy. We could lean in to their own narcissism and do something about how great the graphics are, and that way we could tag like AWS and stuff as well, see if we can get them. Because really, I just want attention. I want either Formula. I want one of the brands mentioned to tweet us or retweet it or like it, just anything.
Like it, if just they acknowledge that we're a thing, that would be great.
Please. I feel like we got a retweet from Daniel Ricciardo or something at some point in our lives. And
we did. Unfortunately, it was for the first account that we had, which was Super License
Podcast.
But you can still find that. If you search Daniel Ricciardo's Twitter for Super License Pod, you will find it. It's
Ricciardo
him
Wow,
retweeting
right?
you. Daniel Ricciardo, yes.
Yeah, Ricciardo
That
Wow.
Ricciardo.
But was it a Ricciardo Wow?
I don't think it was a
tweet?
Ricciardo Wow. No.
God, those were the days. I feel like we burned him recently. Well, you're still a fave, mate. It's not your fault. You've had a rough time.
We have. That's why it's so funny to go back and hear us like beating him up for virtually no reason.
Oh, he was very good. People say this to me.
That's
like,
what we were saying. That's what we said 8 years ago.
Really good.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me your idea. I gave you 2.
So did you see this opening credit sequence for Lord of the Rings that went around on Twitter?
You know what?
Yep.
It's Rings of Power.
It rings as a bell.
No, but it is. The show's called Rings of Power.
Okay, yes,
These are Amazon things. I feel like we can combine 2 ideas here, which is great. No, I didn't see it. I haven't watched it yet either. Everyone's like, you really need to watch these shows.
Did you see that it was on Twitter?
I've been in Spain. I've been holidaying. I've genuinely.
All right, fair enough.
I ran out of internet whilst traveling because of Brexit, and I've been not looking at Twitter whilst I've been looking at cathedrals and mosques.
I finally found the tweet. Can't wait for hashtag Drive to Survive to spill the contract tea at Netflix. Hashtag Survive5. One retweet by Zachary Priest.
You've got to start somewhere. You've got to like your own stuff. You've got to like yourself before you can like anything else.
So what I'm saying is if you haven't seen this thing, maybe you should watch it.
Okay. Do you want to
up on YouTube?
Pause the show?
What's Rings of Power? We'll cut this out.
Okay. Yeah.
Rings of Power intro. What are you saying?
Okay. I'm saying it's definitely not. It's the profiles moving through a black screen.
Yes, that's the one. You got it.
It's very, very good.
I don't know what music you're hearing. I'm hearing the Days of Our Lives theme.
Yes, that's. I was like, where is this? Is it something like that?
So obviously that's not the original music that it had, but this is what people were doing. They were taking that clip and they were like, this reminds me of the Kath and Kim intro. Let's put the Kath and Kim music over the top.
Yes.
What if we took this video and put the F1 music over the top?
I think it's great. I'm in. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that would work. How long is the F1 intro?
We'll make it work.
Oh, will we? Great. Perfect.
I'm just saying, well, I mean, if we don't do it for this, that's the thing we could do anyway.
Okay, let me see. I've got the F1 intro. It's 57 seconds. I think you could skip some of the... Oh, no, you want all of that. Yeah, because you could have the... Yeah, you'll be able to edit this together. Are you putting your hand up to do this? And then do you want to... What are we going to do tweet-wise?
That's what I'm saying. Assume that the video is preformed. It could just drop in. What's the text around it? How do we get eyeballs on this thing?
How do we get eyeballs on this thing?
I sound like a boomer CEO who's like talking to his social media manager. Come on, give me some eyeballs.
I'm thinking because, Rings of Power is made by Amazon. Apparently it's costing like $500 million to make as well.
It's
like some insane amount of money. Now, what else did Amazon car related? So Amazon's providing all these graphics, but Netflix is doing the series. And the show actually goes out through all the Sky Sports people. Amazon did steal the other biggest car related thing in the world, Top Gear. They did steal that whole show essentially and turned it into the Grand Tour.
You're talking.
Maybe there's something around that. Can we tag both Amazon and Netflix and say, hey, Mr. Steal Your Girl, like maybe this is next. And the smush up of but like what's the meat to that? Like what's the joke, Rod? What's the joke? I think we need to work harder to elicit a response. Like the best way to elicit a response to someone is to ask a direct question.
Do we literally just add the word admin? Because admin Twitter seems to be like the big thing these days. Hey, admin.
Yes. Who's admin? Amazon's? Or?
All of the above. Whoever responds.
Okay, sure. Hey, admin. God. Hey, admin, you are missing a trick here. No.
That's what I mean. Something like that.
Yeah. It needs to, is there a Formula One? Like, now I know which heavy lifting I'm going to do on this idea. Is there a Formula One, like Lord of the Rings crossover pun that we can do?
With an image or something, you mean? Or literally something
with the text? Wheels kind of look like rings. So, like Wheels of Power, something like that. Something around that.
What was the name of that perfume? Wasn't there one that was wheel related? No, Turn 1.
Turn 1, yeah. Oh, Turn 1 ring to rule them all. That's actually not bad. I think even just as simple as like we've got your next, like this is the next show, or like here's your new, hey Netflix, here's your new intro to Drive to Survive at admin at Amazon, something like that. You know, maybe.
Let me jot it down.
There's so many characters, right?
So is it admin or
yeah,
Amazon?
I think admin.
We tag
I think it's admin.
At
hey,
Amazon, and then hey admin. Oh, hey Amazon admin, right?
Yeah, hey Amazon admin. This is how you steal Netflix's Drive to Survive.
Oh, yeah. So, why is this so hard to open the free?
No, we heard F1's looking for a new home.
Here we go.
Maybe something like that.
Hey at Amazon admin. And we heard?
Yeah, F1 might be looking for a new home. We think you're a great fit.
We think you're a great fit.
Yeah, we think you're a great fit.
Is this like an arrow down emoji or something?
Yes. No, finger pointing. No good?
No, the way you said it and the timing. Should this be a down arrow emoji? Yes. All right.
This is the creative process. This is how it works. I feel like one day I'm going to call in like my social media marketer friends on this, like at this part of the podcast. But I just need to make a call
to consult
to get them in.
We're going to have to. Yeah, let's do that. Well, we're open to it. That's what we're saying.
I feel like this could be a whole show. I really do. I mean, I enjoy it too much.
You know, I mean, look, some races are not so exciting. So, hey, we're open to content.
It's a little bit like,
vehicles.
what was that podcast? Like Pizza at McDonald's? Like, I feel a little bit like that.
Oh, I love that show. Anyway.
Of course you did.
Well, listen, there's that. Look for that on Twitter, unless you've already seen it, in which case remember that you saw that on Twitter. And now you know the backstory. Otherwise, next time we'll do an Oscar Pastry one and look for that to go mega viral.
Please Pash Me is his name.
Please. P.S. Try harder while you're at McLaren.
Oh! Are you all scared of racing against Lando? They write themselves.
Oscar. I was thinking about that the other day. Is there something there? Oscar? Yes,
100%, yes. Oscar driver, Oscar Piastri.
I love how I could just say anything and you just back me. That's what friends are for.
I like that Daniel Ricciardo was like Daniel Avocado is Oscar Piastri, Oscar Pastrami.
That's exactly what we need to do. All right, next time. Save it. Don't spill all the juice right here. Don't spill all the tea.
I don't know what I'm editing out of this show at this point, so it might all stay in.
Can't wait. This is going to be a surprise for all of us. Maybe nothing. Okay, listen. I think next time, you up for doing some Dare to Swear next time?
Yeah, let's do it.
Then there will be the Italian Grand Prix. Then there's, I think Japan is maybe coming out.
Is that on this weekend, the Italian Grand Prix? Can't be this weekend. I think it is. We can't do 3 in a row.
Yeah, it's a triple header this week. Well, we're in the middle of triple header now.
What? They don't do that, do they?
It's true. True
news.
news.
Rest. Oh my God.
Italian Grand Prix, Singapore, Japan, United States, and then Mexico, Sao Paulo, and then Abu Dhabi. So what's about a month from now? We could do Italian and Singapore.
We got a 2-week break.
In the 2-week break?
Yeah, no, there is a 2-week break between Monza and Singapore. Maybe we should just go to Singapore.
So I'm saying after the Italian Grand Prix, we do Dare to Swear. After Singapore, we come back to talk about those races. something like that.
Yeah, we could try and squeeze in a Japanese Grand Prix and do one straight after, like on that week. And that way we could squeeze in Monza, Singapore, and Japan. Triple header for us.
Monza, Singapore, and Japan. So that's
Yeah.
from the 11th of September to the 9th of October.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a month, that's all.
You know what? It is a month, and people are screaming out for content. Yeah, let's just do it for Singapore, and then we can preview Japan. I like that.
We'll work it out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
point is, we'll be back soon with some more talk.
There'll be some data squares.
It might be data square, it might be races. We'll work that out later. We'll see how we go. Also, if there's big breaking news, as always, we will just, I don't know, we'll scramble together and get something out for you.
What kind of big breaking news do you think could even happen at this point? Like that Daniel Ricciardo is actually making a switch to golf?
Something like Zach Brown is riding a one-wheeled bicycle, falls off, breaks his leg, and farts at the same time. Something like that.
Okay. And has decided to take the second seat. Big news. Oscar Piastri is actually not racing for McLaren.
The second seat. That's right. Kicking Oscar Piastri back to Alpine.
Yeah. All the way back to Alpine.
It's all happening. All right.
He's just good. Pissed off.
There's that to look forward to, question mark. I guess we're done talking about Formula One, maybe. Been good talking to you, buddy, and it's been too long, but we'll be back soon with more. Until then, Zach, I want you to take care of yourself. Everyone listening, please take care of yourselves. And Zach, one last final word or no?
Yeah, definitely say hi to your mum for me.
Very good. Well, until next time, my name's Penrod.
My name's been Zach.
We'll see you in a few weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye. Maybe? I think so. Yeah.
I think so. What? Stop. What?
What was that? You caught me just on the oar, and I got distracted.
Oh, mate.
Oh, yeah. Christ.